Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Order. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this discussion is we got to give ourselves a chance. You know, I remember a long time ago, I had some friends of mine over there spending the weekend, and we were decided to get some pizza, but I didn't have no money. I was the only one out the group that didn't have no money. So when they was ordering the pizza, they was saying what toppings they wanted on it. And one of the toppings they mentioned was anchovies. And I said, I don't want anchovies on the pizza. And they looked at me and they was like, how much are you putting on this pizza? And I said, you right. Whatever's on the pizza that I don't like, I just pull off. I learned a valuable lesson there. If you can't afford to either go in or buy your own, you got to settle for whatever they give you. I never took that personal, because like I said, they didn't have to. Well, they was at my house, so they weren't gonna order no pizza to come to my home and don't give me none. So, but the moral of the story is, you know, before you can start complaining about what you like and don't like, you got to have the ability either to buy your own or contribute towards buying it. And I say all that to say this. This coronavirus, it has been killing our people disproportionately ever since it started. We suffer the most from it because we have the most, what would they say, pre-existing conditions. We have poor access to health. The quality of our food is low. And the thing is, all these problems that goes towards our pre-existing condition is all controlled by whites. They control everything. Now, the very same people who reside over our current condition, now they come up with a vaccine to this coronavirus. And they want us to be the first ones to get it. And it's funny. How is it that with the coronavirus, now you want to protect the most vulnerable of the people? You want to dole out to the senior citizens, then to the blacks and the Latinos. But to solve any other social economic problem, you always go from the top. You don't solve blacks being last economically by patterning economic solutions towards those who have the least. The rich have to get their cut first, and by the time they get their cut, we are only left with crumbs. We have got to give independence a chance. We've got to give ourselves a chance. There's a saying, if you don't vote, don't complain. Well, the same can be said if you don't try to establish your own way of life. If everything you do come through the allowance or the admission from whites, if you can't do for yourself what you do for them to put food on your table, then we shouldn't complain either. So if you don't vote, don't complain. If you don't build your own, don't complain. Don't complain what somebody else giving you when you're fully capable of providing for yourself. Everything whites allow us to do, politically, socially, economically, puts us at a disadvantage. There's nothing that we do that they do that when you look at it over a specific period of time, our numbers are the same. It's always whites are up here and blacks are at the bottom. You know, whites create multiple paths to victory. And how they do that? Because they can create and they can make their own rules. Only thing we know is to follow the rules. Look at the election that just passed. You got the popular vote, the electoral college, and then you have the courts. These are all different paths you could take to winning an election. Why? Because they made the rules. They can create as many economic, political, judicial paths to victory as they see fit. And the only thing we're going to do is just sit back and follow them. But we can only have one path, theirs. With this coronavirus, we have got to protect our family. And we are the most vulnerable of them all. Only a people who has no alternative will take a vaccine from their oppressor. And only a people who have been oppressing the same people for 500 years. That's crazy. I mean, even when I think about that, it always makes me laugh to keep from crying. Only a people who has been oppressing blacks for 500 years will have the audacity to come to them with a vaccine that you didn't rush through the system, and you want us to be among the first to take it. We have got to protect our family. If they want to test this vaccine on pregnant women so they can get some data to see how it affects the fetus, then they want to go to teens and then infants. Not theirs, yours. Why? Because the only way you can live in this country is if you follow the path they laid for us. And they can do it too. All they have to do is leverage getting this vaccine to your job or to where you buy your goods and services. If you want to go to work, you got to prove you've been vaccinated. You want to go to the store, buy something, shop, whatever, you got to prove you've been vaccinated. You don't want to get vaccinated, you don't want to work. You don't want to get vaccinated, you don't want to go, you don't want to buy groceries. You don't want to buy gas. They can do this because they can make the rules. Wherever blacks can make a stand to say no, they can make a law to force you to do it. And I'm gonna do another video specifically on that to point that out, because a lot of people just don't understand that. The thing is, if COVID don't kill you, the vaccine might. And if you refuse, you're gonna starve. Those are the choices that we have right now. And we have got to create an alternative. And the thing is, if you don't trust the government enough that you would take a vaccine to protect your health, then why would you trust the government enough to preside over your way of life and not build an alternative just in case they fail you, or just in case it don't work out? You don't buy a car without buying insurance. You don't buy a cell phone without having insurance. You telling me you value your iPhone or your Android more than you value your own life? Are you gonna leave your way of life totally up to how these devils see fit? And you can't invest a little bit of your time, a little bit of your effort, a little bit of your intellect into establishing your own way of life? Either you trust the government or you don't. And this Jekyll and Hyde, nice 1 minute, evil the next mentality that these whites have, you know, you don't know what their intentions are. 1 minute they're oppressing you, 1 minute they shooting at you, 1 minute they reaching out to help you. You don't need to be wondering to yourself is what their intentions are during a time like this. You know, the bottom line is this: either we take a chance and let these monsters pump vaccines into our pregnant wives, our pregnant daughters, our teens, and our toddlers, or we take a chance and come together and provide our own way of life. Because our unity, our essential needs, our love, our family, these are all avenues that we can use to build new paths for us to get out of this economic situation, this political situation, this judicial situation, to protect our family. But we have got to give it a chance. There isn't enough, let me just say this, there isn't any historical data since the time whites came into our community to now that would justify any black to allow them to put any vaccine into their body. They're coming up with this 90 something percent success rate for a vaccine that you just started making 10 months ago. And then the first people you want to put it in is ours. Now you tell me what economic philosophy that they come up with that would improve black situation 90%, and then they turn around and give it to us. What political solution that will give us tangibles when we vote, opposed to getting nothing in the past? Now they're going to come up with a political solution to give us actual solid tangibles. You think they're going to do it? There's nothing that whites have given us that has changed or lifted us out of last place in this country. We cannot continue going forward being willfully ignorant of history. And if you don't want to believe the history you read in the books, the history you experience in your own life, you see how they treat you and you see how they treat their own. When I was working at the bank, here a woman, it was a sister working there, and her daughter called sick. So she wanted to go home. And the first thing the manager said, "Oh, yes, go see about your daughter. Oh, and can you be back before lunch?" And I look down there, I'm like, can you be back before lunch? I mean, by the time she get to her house or to school and take the baby home or to the hospital, she got to leave her there and come back to work. And then one of the other ladies told me how when her dog got sick, She took 3 days off. You didn't see her for 3 days. They value dogs more than us. Are we going to continue sitting back, letting whites order the pizza and put on there whatever they want, eat as much as they want, and then leave you with the scraps? Because right now, I'm not about just getting a job to buy my pizza. I want to start buying businesses to buy my pizza. That's where our mentality should be at. So I'm going to end this video here. And if you like this message, please share it. And with this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I'll see you in my next message. Ashe. Do not, I repeat, do not take that vaccine. There is no telling what ramifications or after effects going to come from this thing 5, 10, 15 years from now. And if you think you're in a bad situation now, wait until these side effects kick in. You're going to be in an even worse situation. We cannot, and I said I was going to end this video, but I'm not. We cannot continue letting whites do to us whatever they want to, and we just sit back and just wait on somebody else to save us when we can save us. We can't keep doing this. For everything they do for us, we can do for us and protect our family and keep it moving. So now I'm going to end this video. And as I said before, with this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I'll see you in my next message. Ashe.